Hi, good morning.
Hi, is that Steve? Steve Harley.
I'm Steve.
Steve Harley, famous with Cockney Rebel for Make Me Smile. That's one of the many songs that you've done. And it got to number one in February 1975 and it sold about 1.5 million copies. Is that right?
Oh, I've no idea, but I should have thought so. Yeah, I mean, it's a perennial, isn't it? Lucky for me.
Very much so. What was the sort of inspiration behind that song? Can you remember?
Yeah. Well, it was. It's a bit of a finger pointer. I mean, the first band broke up in the end of '74, with three of the guys walked out on me. Oh. For some, I never really worked out why, but they left the band, and I wrote that about it. I wrote the song about it. You know, you'll come back and see me sometime one day.
So
it's pretty well known that's what it's about. Yeah,
it's a fantastic
song.
But
I wanted to disguise that because it's not a nice attitude to take revenge, you know. So I made it a bit of a backbeat poppy record, you know.
It's
the ooh-la-las.
And it's got a big gap in the middle, which I would imagine, and we're not professional presenters by any means, but professional presenters, when they play the song, I bet they're like, oh, hang on, dead air. Was that a deliberate thing? Was that accidental? Or was that like...
No, it's deliberate. Yeah, deliberate. I don't know why, again. I was asked that by Peter Gabriel. He said to me, I love those, it's so imaginative. What made you do that? And I said to him, I haven't got a clue, except that it was in rehearsals. I just stopped the band and said, I stop there, count 6 and come in again. You know, some ideas just, they work. You know, made it sound commercial. I don't know other than that. No.
Did you know it was featured on a Melbourne, Australia radio station a few years ago, ABC Radio Melbourne, as part of Song Paul's Day? It was a tribute to songs with the Pauls in it, and yours was heavily featured on that.
There you are. It's my claim to fame down there, yeah.
So, hi Steve, it's Paul here. Question I'd like to ask you. So, obviously this is a song that you're probably most associated for, and you've been playing it for a long time. Do you still enjoy playing it now, or are you like some artists you think, everybody knows for that list of my new stuff?
Oh, no, I'm not like that. I love it. You know, it's the end of 2.25 hours of a big live show. It's never the same twice. It's the sort of song that I can sing a different inflection some nights to other nights, and you know, it's instant audience involvement. The minute I open, you know, da 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 da, you've done it all. They're all there everywhere I play, all over the world, even big festivals. So, no, it's a great way to end a live show. To know that whatever else happens, and it's usually wonderful, but I just love doing it so much, the whole show. But when you get to the end, you got that coming up. It's a great way to say goodnight.
Paul is asking that question because I'm sure he's gagging to tell you, but he plays in a band called Monkey Face, and he's done that cover, so I would expect he's going to be sending you some money for that.
I feel, Steve, I should be giving you some royalties. I've played in bands for many years. My career's
you can have that one on me.
Oh, there you go. Next time I play that, I can say, Steve has said we can play this one. It's always a great song, though. Everybody knows it. It's one of the everybody gets up, sing along.
I bet you don't know, though, Paul, what the opening chord is. It's a G. I know that.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's right there, Steve.
Yeah, the intro is in G. It starts in F.
That's right.
And I should say, it's one of the best acoustic guitar solos ever. I played the solo. It's well played, but it's absolutely brilliant for the song. It's a great all-round song.
Yeah, they can't all play it accurately. I mean, if I need a new lead guitarist, that would be the audition. It's
definitely
play the solo and make me smile for me. And if it's not absolutely perfect, it has to be perfectly played. It has to be note for note, beat for beat, because everyone knows it. You know, as we're playing it, they're singing it. Da 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 da. They all sing it. It's a well-known melody.
Definitely.
So I can't have a guitarist come in the band and start ad-libbing on it. The audience is going to say, "Oh, he can't play it."
It's certainly an iconic part of the song. I will start learning it now. Then, Steve, ready for your next auditions?
It's funny you say that, actually, because when a band does a cover, you've either got to do it, as you say, exactly the same. And I think with guitar solos, when people do covers, they've got to do it exactly the same or completely different. And I must admit, I have listened to we've all listened to your new album, which was released last year, and it's fantastic. Three of the ones I like are Absolute Beginners, And of course, he was a big influence with you, wasn't he, Bowie?
No, he wasn't an influence on me.
Wasn't he?
I can't allow that, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. I'll
no, not a bit. No, we were peers. I mean, I started a couple of years after him. I knew him down in Beckenham long time ago, but I can't see any influence, Bowie, on me. No.
No, not at all. No, fair enough.
No, I was a fan, obviously, a supporter. I mean, I loved what he did. And Absolute Beginners is, it's the best 5 minutes of a pretty useless film. They're all the songs on Uncovered, the album Uncovered. 2 of them are mine.
Yeah.
And 9 of them are my interpretation of other, songs. They're songs that I wish I'd written. That's the criterion. You've got to say, why would you want to interpret that song that you didn't write? Well, it's because I wish I had written it. And all of them are like that. The one from the Long Pigs, Crispin Hunt's song, Lost Myself.
Yes.
Just absolutely cracking good song.
Definitely.
And the Cat Stevens one, Yusuf, but it was Cat Stevens back then, How Can I Tell You?
Yeah.
They're all great songs. And I just wanted to put my own stamp on them with an acoustic band.
Really
There's no keyboards, just strings. Yeah.
Steve, it's Pete. Just looking at, the fact that you're going to be coming to play at Cheltenham Town Hall. Cheltenham obviously must be a place that is a place you like visiting, because I see that you like racehorsing. Oh,
I own 3 at the moment. One of mine is running today at up in Wolverhampton at 4:00 today.
Okay,
Fantastic.
What's the chances?
Its chances are not good, in that we're pretty aware that he's not fully fit, not quite ready. He's had a while off the course, and he's the outsider. He'll be the outsider today, but next time he's called Zumati. But next time he runs, it'll be much more likely to get in the frame. But Cheltenham, I come if I can. I'll come to the Gold Cup, to the big festival meeting in a couple of days most years. Get caught up in a bog in the grassy car parks.
So Pete's got a £60. He's got a £60 share in a racehorse. So I'm not going to say any more than that. You can make your own mind up on that.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby. I don't recommend it to people, to be honest. It's like getting £50 notes out of your pocket and crushing them into the turf.
Can I ask a question? So I was lucky enough to to interview one of your peers, Jules Holland, a few years ago, and Graham Goldman from 10cc. And I asked them this question, and they both gave me very polarised responses. What do you think of the X Factor?
The X Factor?
Yeah, the music show where you get people getting...
No, I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't actually watch TV much, and I
you probably don't have
know. I don't like
with
those judgmental programs where there's a jury marking people and all that. It's humiliating.
That's exactly what Graham Goldman said from 10cc. In fact, when I asked him, he said, I don't want to talk about it. And I asked him jokingly again, and he said again, I'm not going to discuss it. Whereas Jules Holland said, it's got a place. It's actually an entertainment show, but I don't see it as a music show. And I think that's what you're saying.
It's entertainment for the masses, and that's fine by me.
Yeah.
8 o'clock on a Saturday night, is it? That sort of program.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just don't watch it. Or the other thing, there's celebs in the jungle. I don't. And the Big Brother stuff. It's of absolutely no consequence. It doesn't belong in my life, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. My wife wouldn't agree, but I do.
Well, it's just personal taste, isn't it? There's nothing wrong. That's fine. It's all personal taste, choice. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I think you're right, Steve. It's fairly voyeuristic television in some ways, and I guess the same with all these things. Though we started talking about music and your influences. Music's a very subjective thing, but I know Bob Dylan was a big influence on you, wasn't he? Which was somebody
he was because he was so much older than me, and he informed me and educated me into my love of lyric writing and my love of music. Yeah, Dylan is just different to the rest of us, to be honest. He came out different.
I mean, he was, as I said, we used the word iconic a couple of times, and I'm sure you won't be too embarrassed if we say a lot of people put you in the same category, but he was fairly unique. Now, I don't know how you feel about this. I think when I listen to your stuff, there's a touch of the Dylan about the way that you enunciate and the tone. Would that be something would be fair, or would you recoil at that?
I wouldn't argue, but it's a pure coincidence. I can't imagine why it is. He's from North Minnesota, and I'm from Deptford. So I mean, we don't have much in common in geographically, or it shouldn't have been in the voice. But what can I say? It's just the way you come out, you know. Like Jules Holland is from where I'm from, in Greenwich, southeast London, and Jules doesn't sound anything like me. And it's the same with the guys in Squeeze, Glenn Tilbrook and his mate. They're from Deptford and Greenwich like me, but they don't sound like me. It's an odd thing. It's just how the way your voice box comes out through you. It's in the genes.
Just talking about Jules Holland there. I play the keyboard as well. I've got a Yamaha Clavinova, and funny enough, Jules Holland uses that to practice on. I was really surprised that he can't read music, and that. I'm the same. I play by ear. What's your sort of background on learning to play the instruments you do, the guitar and everything else? What's your background there?
Well, oddly enough, I did read music. I mean, I played the violin at school.
Oh, I did. I hated it, but I was forced to do it. Did you enjoy the violin?
Well, I was forced to practice at home, and it made my younger brothers cry.
Oh, my God, that's unbelievable.
It wasn't very good.
Okay.
No, so I wasn't very good. I've got Barry Wickens in my band, who's a virtuoso.
Oh, wow.
So I wouldn't pick the violin up ever again in his company.
No.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I played it for 5 or 6 years, maybe at school. So you have to learn to read music,
yes.
At least the top line, and I don't any longer, you know.
No.
Although I must admit, oddly enough, I was auditioning after the Phantom of the Opera fell through, which I was doing, and then I got ousted by Michael Crawford. And then Tim Rice had me pop along to do a reading for a new musical at the time called Miss Saigon,
okay,
with the two guys who wrote Les Mis. And I went along, and they were fuffing and faffing. The guy at the piano who wrote the tunes, he was fuffing and faffing over teaching me how to sing this thing. And I just said, look, have you got the music? I'd sooner I can't follow you. I'll show me the top line and I'll read it. I'll be able to read it. And I don't know. He said it's in my car down in the street. Okay. I didn't get that job, but I didn't want it really. I don't want theatre anymore. I want to get up and play with my guitar. Tour the world like I'm used to doing.
Definitely.
Wandering minstrel.
You're very good at it as well, mate. Very good.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. We're coming down your way, aren't we?
Cheltenham, 16th. Yeah.
Cheltenham Town Hall.
Yeah, on the 16th. Really looking forward to that.
That's a really good rock venue. That's one from way back.
So, Steve, obviously, you're saying about going on an extensive tour for about 18 months. No one could go anywhere, pretty much. There was no live music at all. What did you do during lockdown? How was it for you? Were you able to write new songs? It was boring.
I mean, I'm used to travelling for 47 years when lockdown hit, and the door got slammed and all these concerts. We had 60 shows that had to be rescheduled. And they all have been, miraculously. The promoters have been fantastic moving these things around, because everyone and his grandmother had their concerts, their shows postponed. And so we're all looking for dates in the same venue a year and a half ahead or a year ahead. When I come to play, not this year, these are fairly fresh, but next year in 2022, we go to places to play where it's been rescheduled 3 times. So it was boring, and I just, tried to keep healthy and keep away from the bug. We did well there, Mrs. Harley and I. We missed the kids and the grandchildren for a while, but maybe we're through all that now. I just thought what was the most wonderful thing. For 9 months I was making these iPhone recordings for the Facebook and my website, and looking into this camera and saying to people, we just need a vaccine.
Yeah. We
need a vaccine. They're working on it. And I was saying to them, we've got to believe the best brains in the world are working on this.
Definitely.
And when it came out of Oxford after 9 months, it was kind of like miracles only happen in the Bible. But it was almost miraculous what those scientists came up with in that limited amount of time. I thought it was absolutely sensational and almost saved the planet in a sense. And maybe we're all out of it now with a bit of luck.
I think we're all hoping we're over the worst. So
yeah, over the worst. Yeah.
Steve,
well, once the concert halls are filled and the cinemas and everything, we will start feeling like it's back to normal.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's that feeling of normality. And I was looking, there's an awful lot of dates on your tour, and I just wondered, I mean, if I play with my band 2 nights on a trot, I normally need a week off to recover. Does touring still give you the same buzz?
Oh, yeah. It's easy. We travel well. We stay in decent hotel rooms. We travel well. And with in-ear monitors, your voice doesn't get stressed like it used to do. I mean, there are some next year where I've got 6 shows in a row. That's quite stressful. I'll need a few days off after doing 6 in a row. But it's a good life, and I look after myself. I get lots of sleep. I do exercises, vocal exercises. It's a job, so I take it seriously. Yeah, I take it seriously. Every time I walk out onto that platform, every time I walk out into that light, and to play a show, I in my dressing room, I'll look in my own eyes and just tell myself, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do this. And I have a little smile, and I walk out to play, and I want to perform as though that show that they see and they go home afterwards thinking that I've got to play as though it's the last show I'll play on earth. That's the way it's got to be every time, every night, every show.
And how does someone like, I know, again, reading, obviously you've done Glastonbury. What was Glastonbury like? That must have been quite a buzz. Oh,
I've played three Glastonburys. I like playing the other one where Michael Eavis invites us to play at the Tor, or looking up at the Tor at the Abbey. That's another one he puts on, he used to put on. I love playing there. The festival's an odd one. I mean, twice when I've played it, I've come out in a sleeper bus, a double-decker tour bus, and I go upstairs, look to the front window up above the driver, and you look out, and it's a third world country. Yeah. You're looking at tens of thousands of little fires burning, tents. It's weird. They come. I mean, they buy their tickets without even knowing who they're going to see. That's trusting, isn't it?
Definitely.
Oh, they're all good fun. I mean, they're all good fun. Festivals are difficult in that you don't get your own private sound check, so you're walking out on a bit of a wing and a prayer for where the sound's concerned. It can be a bit of a stress, but other than that, I just love playing.
I'm a bit starstruck talking to you, actually, because I played your song at a little disco I did for my neighbour a couple of weeks. Well, no, it was about 2 months ago, and I love your song. I just played it, and if I knew then I'd be speaking to you, I would have been. Well, I just was so pleased that you took the time out to speak to us today. Honestly, all of us are big fans, and we're going to come along and see you on the 16th as well.
Good luck with the tour.
Brilliant, yeah,
great,
fantastic.
All right, guys.
All right. It's been great talking to you, Steve. Thanks very much for your time.
Real pleasure, real pleasure. A lot of fun.
Steve.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Very much.
Take care. Cheers, mate.
Wish you well.
Thank
See you
you.
there.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.